what's up fellas, Mario here, and I'm just gonna give you a complete rundown of the Coma 1 and Coma 2 Vicious Sisters, so you can understand this game in this video, because if you're new to the channel, you probably didn't see those old videos, which I'm more happy that you did see those, because those aren't good at all. I was just starting, so I want to give you a retrospective of both of the entire series right here in the beginning of this video. Now, before I get into the story of what the Coma is, I should actually tell you what the game is itself, because there's a high chance you've never even heard of it. It is a indie survival horror type of game where we play as our main character, Young Ho Choi. Now, as the game starts, we see our daring protagonist, Young Ho, going to the school. Before entering the building though, he meets a girl named Yeso. He tries to flirt with her with his horrible riz, ends up getting pushed away, so he just walks away before meeting up with his best friend Seho. See this man right here? I'm not gonna beat around the bush with you at all. I'm not gonna wait for a big spoiler. This man's the devil. That's all you're gonna know for now. This man is the worst character in video game history. Now anyway, upon actually entering school, you meet some douchebag named Young Gil, who right now he's literally nothing but a douchebag blocking your way in the hallway. But he'll pop up later and it'll be more important, I promise. He just calls you a creep in the hallway and tells you to stay away from his girlfriend, who doesn't know she's his girlfriend, but he just deeply wants her to be his girlfriend, even though she's constantly rejecting him because he has nothing to do with the sad life, but bully other people. Also, I should say that ambulance you saw out in the front when I was talking to Seho, that's because the kid tried to kill himself, and it was probably Young Gil's fault because he was the only bully of that kid. Important later. Okay, now let's speed things up because your time is important, so is mine. So, you meet a teacher named Miss Song, super hot, sexy, Korean pop idol lady teacher. Not important now, very important later. You go into your classroom, start your exam, you feel very tired all of a sudden, very tired. Then you wake up, classroom's dark, everyone's gone, you're the only one there. You want to find people, you're scared, you're alone. You try to walk around for a bit, you end up finding Miss Song. There she is again. Now she's actually a demon that wants to kill you. You run around from Miss Song. After running around from Miss Song for a little bit, you meet Yeso again. Yeso has absolutely no time for your BS at all, so she tells you the entire rundown of the Coma. It's a weird, dark place where you need to find a key to get out and understand why your teacher is specifically hunting you. So go to her classroom, maybe you'll find something important that can tell you why your teacher wants to kill you. And then lo and behold, the devil pops up, Seho, and he tells you that he doesn't have his phone and he's gonna go upstairs to try to find it, so maybe he can call the cops to get out of here. He also doesn't believe you when you tell you that this evil, sexy, hot teacher is trying to kill you now. Now, when I was thinking about it more, I was actually realizing I can't teach you all the lore about this game for the one specific reason that there is just simply too much lore in this game. There's over 120 notes dispersed between Coma 1 and Coma 2, and going throughout all those just kind of teach you how the Coma came to be, who's inside the Coma, who's doing stuff inside the Coma, and why they want to get outside the Coma. There's a bunch of notes on that, so it's either one of those horror games you absolutely despise or you absolutely love because you enjoy reading a bunch of stuff in games. But let's just get down to the point. You start the main objective of having to actually go to Miss Song's office to go find out what maybe links you to her and why she's in this world trying to kill you. You go back, you find your report card and find that your grades are absolutely horrendous, so you want to meet back up with Yeso to maybe share this information and see if this can help you get outside the Coma. This is where you meet the most important character in the entirety of the Coma franchise, the Note Man. The Note Man, literally, you know nothing about the entire game. He's just some guy who says that it's his responsibility to record everything he absolutely sees and hears in the Coma, but he doesn't tell you why. But he is the key to getting the true ending and also just knowing information about where you are. He tells you that he saw a girl on the west side of the building, they should leave him alone and shut up. So that's what you go to. Then once again, you find Yeso once more. She tells you that she wants to see your grades, you give her your report card. She proceeds to then make fun of you for you having one of the worst report cards she's ever seen in your life. But she tells you that it might be a clue that if you focus on the 3 subjects that you failed, then perhaps you'll actually get a way out of here. This is where it comes in on how you get the true ending. You need to specifically go to these 3 classes and turn in pieces of your work that you never turned in because you were too embarrassed or too afraid or just something happened to a piece of work, and turning it into the teacher's desk. This is how you get the true ending for the stuff, by doing these things. So, yeah. A quick wander around, and then you end up finding again the worst man in the world, Seho Gil. As you're heading on your way to the north building, he happens to get attacked by an unknown entity who gives him every man's dream and then proceeds to make a deal with you. You find a specific item that she wants that you'll let your friend go. So you have to go back into the main building to find this item so she stops putting him in a thigh headlock. Before you go get her recorder though, you can also find someone in the classroom alone. As you talk to her, you find out it's a good friend of Young Ho's, Mina Park. Now, Mina Park is a very important character, but as you find her, she is badly injured and needs any type of aid to help her out. So you can leave her there and go to the nurse's office to get a med kit for her. Coming back with the med kit, You can give it to her, she thanks you and calls you more than just her friend, and then she says she's free and suddenly disappears. Not much now, but very important later. Now, if you remember what I said about not telling you how to get the true ending, I kinda lied, because this is one of the big reasons, or big ways you need to get the true ending, by talking to me and then patching her up. The other way to get the true ending, as I said also earlier, is that you have to go around making your grades better, and it's your art grade. You have to do it by turning in an art project. Another student teaches you how to study a certain subject. Some student in a classroom teaches you how to study better, and gets your grade up also. And there's one thing with your math grade where you have to go around and find the code to your math teacher's computer. Your math teacher is called Mad Dog, by the way, which is really interesting to me. But anyway, you hack it to the computer and you get a choice to change your grade higher or leave your grade alone. You have to leave your grade alone and walk away. So I first thought, oh, well, I don't need to actually go find the password, because all I have to do is leave my grade alone. I should just not go over there and change my grade. No. The game wants you to specifically go over to the computer and choose to leave your grade alone. You have to choose to leave it. It's the only way to get the true ending. And it just pisses me off, because that's the one way, and that's the one grade that's like that. But yeah, sorry for the rant. Let's get back on track after my weird rant. So you walk to a classroom and see a weird painting on the wall. Once you walk over to it, you hope that the relic is over there, and lo and behold, you find something. The relic, which is just an old dusty recorder that you imagine the lady that's putting your friend a thigh lock wants. So you have to make your way back downstairs and give it to her. Making your way back down to the lady who wants this recorder, you tell her that you give her a trade for the relic. She releases your friend, you give her the relic. You were dumb enough to give her the relic first, so she immediately tells you that she's gonna kill you because she has no point keeping you alive. But when she tries to attack you, something keeps you alive. Or something reflects her attack more like it that keeps you alive. She speculates that it's somebody that you have no idea what she's talking about, then she disappears and takes your friend along with her. But with her out the way, you can move into the next building of the school. But of course, nothing in this world can ever be easy for our main protagonist, Young-ho, as he runs into a horrifying version of Myung-gil that is barely even human. You try and confronting him, trying to get him to move out the way of the hallway, and he ends up telling you that you'll end up just like Taehoon, which everyone thought committed suicide, but Myung-gil tells him that he tried to be a hero and it didn't work out so well for him. You punch him square in the face out of just anger for having to deal with this crap all the time, and Young-ho says it feels like punching a block of granite. But there's a bystander that sees all this going down. Young-ho's old friend Mina, now patched up, tells Myung-gil how disgusting and despicable he is for actually doing this to him. He tries to convince her that he's just friends horseplaying around, but it's quite obvious that he doesn't even know Young-ho's name. So Mina tells him how disgusting he is. He tries to convince her that survival of the fittest. It doesn't work. And just like that, he's gone. She also gives you a little wink before she leaves. And you head just upstairs where you find a mannequin with a creepy pendant on it. This pendant's familiar to you because I forgot to mention, but you find this pendant at the very beginning of the game next to the ambulance with Taehoon's unconscious body. So once you find this, you realize that this might be the way out because it's an actual key item that maybe Yeso was talking about. But as you find this, the school also starts to collapse. So you realize you need to get out now or you might die. Hope you've been paying attention, because just like I said earlier, nothing ever goes easy for Young-ho in his life, as Miss Song pops up again, cornering our poor protag with the axe in hand, way different from the knife she had earlier. But just before she deals a final blow onto you, your good friend Yeso pops up and decides to save the day. She tells you to get out of here and you should know that she should be able to handle herself, and you decide to run, hoping that she's okay in your wake. Like, I forgot to explain the most important part and tell you that Young-ho at the very start of the game, when he saw the ambulance leaving, saw a pendant on the ground, and he picked it up thinking it might belong to like Mrs. Song or something, because the picture inside the pendant looked like a relative of hers. Running away, you're at the very final part of the game where the school is collapsing around you and you find a room with no man sitting in it alone. This right here is the most important scene in the entire franchise, because it's literally him giving you all the possible lore you want to know about this game without reading a ton of notes. Like, you can kind of just come here and understand a good amount of things about the game, because he explains to you just what relics are, what the shade is, and stuff like that. Now, I'm gonna try to simply summarize this the best I can. You show him the pendant and try to explain to you that you have this relic completed now, because when you first woke up in the coma, you only had the picture with you inside of the pendant, but the pendant itself disappeared. The note man tells you that relics are just weird like that, and when moving between different worlds, they can end up in different places. So it just separated your relic so you couldn't fully get out. This is also really important because he tells you that relics are made if they are owned by a notable individual or imprinted upon by significant events that involve the relic. And it explains that with the completed relic, since it's the pendant and the picture inside, you can now leave the coma and you have the best chance of leaving. Taehoon was also in the coma at one point, and he only had the pendant with him but no picture. So when he tried to leave the coma, he got trapped inside and everyone thought he committed suicide, when in fact he just kind of went like catonic from being trapped inside the coma. Next, you show our good friend the Notman the picture inside the pendant. He recognized her as one of the ghost vigilantes, which only have like 3 mentions in this game, but it's a part of Yesol's group, which are people that just explore the coma and keep the balance between both worlds. But when he actually sees it, he recognizes her as one of the ghost vigilantes that he hasn't seen in many, many years. The ghost vigilantes have so much more significance in the part 2 than they have in part 1. I mean, they're significant thing, but they're not mentioned very much in part 1. And then you recognize that the lady in the pendant is likely known as one of Miss Song's relatives, and the reason that Miss Song is hunting you in this thing is probably the Shade's cruel joke of making her like a pet to spite her ancestors. Very interesting. The second to last question you have to ask him is, what exactly is the Shade that's chasing you and hunting you down? Because you don't have any clear answer about the whole game. Tells you that he's literally one right in front of you, and Shades are literally just the residents of the coma that are kind of the architects and overrulers of the coma, making it a better, safer place. But she's trying to kill you for the likely reason that you just infiltrated the coma when you weren't a part of her plans, and she doesn't know you at all. So it's actually kind of fair that she tries to kill you, but she's still an evil person, trust me. The final and most important question for sure is asking Nomad, how exactly do you get out of here? It tells you already have your key out of here, and all you have to do is go back to the very first place you started, and you should be able to leave. But it gives you the very important warning that once you are beginning to exit the coma, you have to make sure that absolutely nothing is holding you back. No thoughts of the coma, only thought of getting out back into your world, which is very important. It tells you Godspeed and scram out of his spacesuit, and then you can finally make your way to the final section of the game of meeting up with Yesol and escaping the coma. And we find completely unharmed and relaxed our friend Yesol waiting at the very end of the coma. She asks if you found the key you were looking for, and you show her the pendant. She tells you that she's also been working on her own investigation on your previous friend Seiho Hill. It turns out that he was going back and forth between the coma, and he found a way that he could change your grades out for his, taking your good grades and giving you his crappy grades, which is why it's such an important way to get the true ending in this game by doing stuff to get better grades, because it's just technically the grades you would have normally had if Seo wasn't changing it out by going between worlds. All of that instead of studying. Also, if you're not convinced that Seo is evil yet, I was trying to find a good place to put this in video, but it's only ever said in notes, which is why I feel like the direction and pacing of the game was a lot better in Coma 2. But Seiho was also really evil because he was going in between the coma and using the shade that put him in thigh lock. He was using her as a puppet. He found out that with the piece of the recorder, he could control her in ways he wanted. There's a bunch of creepy notes of him calling her like his pretty little succubus and how he could control her however he wanted, which again, which is why Seiho's the devil and a creep for doing that, and why the shade did him so bad. But just a quick explanation for you on why Seiho is like that and why he has power to go between the coma. But anyway, Youngho returns back to his world, and they already know that this is actually the smartest student, and Seiho was just taking his stuff. But he's still known as the top 3 students for what he was doing, because Seiho only did that stuff recently. We then cut to Yeso talking to someone called the Minister, saying that the situation still has gone critical, because you remember, Youngho did still give the Shade Lady the piece of the recorder, which is her relic. He also talks about how Seiho had found a way to control her, but it didn't last very long until she did what she did with him, which you'll actually see in the Coma 2B, I believe what she did. I mean, this is like completely off topic, but I always found this really sad when looking back at this game, because I haven't seen this game in like almost a year, is that like Seiho turned on Youngho for no reason but jealousy, because Youngho was getting the best grades, Seiho was a failure at school, and Youngho did really well. So he was only doing that stuff because he was jealous, which sucks. But it's like I told you at the start of the video and many times after, nothing's ever easy for Youngho. We skip to Youngho being in a bed and comatose, with Mina watching over him, holding close to her his pendant that she found on him when he just suddenly went comatose in the middle of class. She also sees Yeso, and Yeso is in a very different outfit, checking up on Youngho, likely to see if they can possibly get him out of the coma. Now, this does not explained until Coma 2 Vicious Sisters, but this is kind of Seiho's fault for having him like this. Yamina wants to get to the bottom to see if there's a way to save him because she feels like something's not right. And we see Seiho at the end of the game in the bushes, pretty much just stalking to see if like, oh, is this girl's gonna be a problem next, isn't she? The sad part about this is that the reason Youngho couldn't get out was because he had doubts before he fully left, and you can't leave with any doubts. You have to go completely clear-minded when you leave on going home. His thoughts, and it's very sad, was on his friend Seiho and was he okay? So he got stuck inside the coma, and Seiho was happy he got stuck inside there and didn't want to get him out. Even though he had means to get him out because he had ways to jump back in between the coma, he didn't care to get his friend out. He hated Young-ho for no reason but jealousy. For jealousy over grades, that man hated his best friend. It's ridiculous. But anyway, if you're here, you've made it to the very end of the video. And to that I say, thank you so much. This video was very much rushed and very roughly done. It's an incorrect summary, I'm gonna say, because I skimmed over a lot of things. Like the lore of this game goes very deep, but just that the lore is consistent upon so many notes and stuff like that. It's kind of hard to go through unless like I'm actually doing like a deep dive video essay onto it. I kind of just wanted this to be like a summary video. So you come to this, you understand Coma 2B, and then I'll play that. Because I still have not beat Coma 2B by the time this recording. Like I just wanted to make this video for people that are new to the channel so they know what exactly the Coma series is. I thought that I was going to do Coma 2 and 1 story, but then I just kind of realized there's no point in doing Coma 2 story because Coma 2B happens before Coma 2. So you might as well watch Coma 1, Coma 2B, and then watch Coma 2, because Coma 2 is the final in the series technically, in the lore. Coma 2B came after, but it's the final in the story. So I was thinking like, oh, there's no point because I'd just be spoiling them if they haven't seen Coma 2 yet. So I mean, I'd recommend if you see this video, don't watch Coma 1 on my channel. It's the worst series on my channel because I was just so new and unexperienced. You can watch Coma 2 Vicious Sisters if it actually interests you. And you can watch Coma 2B as it comes out, if you want. Yeah, I mean, you could just look at this video and be like, huh, I know Coma 1 now, and then completely just blow this game off. But it is entirely up to you. I just really want to say thank you so much for watching. And I sincerely appreciate you all for this little video essay I planned. And like, I did this in 2 days time and just late nights of cramming a bunch of footage and voiceover together. It was a fun experience though. This gives me ideas for other stuff I want to do in the future. So I do hope you guys sincerely enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much if you watched to the end, and farewell for now.